Okay, Nasai Minasan, today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Geats X Revice movie Battle Royale review. It is a really long anticipated movie for me because I really want to see this movie. The teaser, the trailer, everything has been building up until this moment, and right after I watch it, I have to say the first half of the story before the DGP enter into the picture actually felt really special. It felt really cinematic. I don't know how to actually explain it properly, but it just felt like the way they shot it, or maybe just the way the story has been told. It felt really amazing, and I'm just at the edge of my seat, and I was like, damn, this actually reminds me of the Kamen Rider W Gaia Memory Forever movie. Like the way everything has been shot, the seriousness of the character and the acting, everything just reminds me of Kamen Rider W, and that is really amazing. Because not gonna lie, after Kamen Rider W Gaia Memory Forever, like the quality of the Kamen Rider movie that we have been getting almost felt kind of like repetitive, and kind of like it almost felt like they are creating a movie for the sake of creating a movie. But this first half of Kamen Rider Geats X Revice movie Battle Royale don't actually feel like that. It actually felt like this is a continuation to this series itself. It follow on the story, the last episode that we actually saw revise on, and that is something that I really love about the first half of the story. Another thing that I really love the first half of the story is how they didn't actually downplay the power of the rider itself. They When the two random duo actually appear and kind of like challenge them out of nowhere, everything makes a lot of sense. It's like it actually, like, Sakura and Daiji themselves is not able to take down this duo together, and because without the power of Vice, Iki is only half the strength that he is, so he is not able to defeat this random duo. But after they got the power back, and after all the rider henshin and beat the shit out of that random duo, they are able to take them down. And this is really crucial, because the random duo that we saw is their civilization actually got destroyed by Gifu itself. So if someone that is able to defeat Gifu but is not able to defeat someone that Gifu defeat, then the plot writing wise seems kind of like weird in a sense, something like that, don't you think so? But one thing that I really love for the first half of the story as well is the cracks in the sky, something like that. And I felt like when we are watching Kamen Rider Revice, like the series itself, like the crack in the sky is kind of like forgotten for some reason. Like no one really talk about the crack in the sky, something like that. But I'm really happy that in this movie the crack is actually part of the storytelling and all those stuff, and we actually get to see the random duo came from the crack. And then we also get to see Korra wanted to utilize the crack to invite more aliens, more extraterrestrial being came to this world, and kind of like make this entire earth become a dystopia. And that is something really amazing. But sadly to say, the amazing cinematic feel towards the entire movie kind of like falls away when we jump into the DGP side of the story itself. Not don't get me wrong, the story is still amazing, the cinematography, the action, everything is still really amazing. But when for some reason that, like, when you just switch over, there's kind of like a hint that something is missing, something is lacking. It almost went back to a typical rider show, typical rider movie, something like that. So this is just kind of like a minor complaint that I actually have when I'm actually watching the show itself. Overall, I still really enjoy the movie. Love the story, love the action, love the pacing, and especially I love how the chemistry between the three different riders from three different not three. I love the chemistry between the three different rider series like Ryuki, Revice, and Geats. I felt like all of their character really blend well with one another. I love how Buffa and Oja is kind of like a similar character, but just Buffa is less evil, I would say. But moving on, I just want to talk about another minor complaint that I have, and that is the lack of presence for the Ryuki's rider. I know this movie is called Kamen Rider Geats X Revice, not Kamen Rider Ryuki, Geats, and Revice. So I kind of understand why the Ryuki riders are being sidelined a little bit, but I'm still really glad that they actually went to the length to invite back all the actors to play their role. And since they already invited them back, why not give them a bigger role, a bigger presence in the entire show itself? That we get to hear their voice, but we don't actually get to see a lot of their acting. So that is, I felt like a little bit wasted potential there. But then again, that is just my little opinion on how the show should actually be. Like, now that the review of the movie is out of the way, we already talked about the movie. I felt like what else can I say about the movie? Is good. I love the action and all those stuff. Everything is out of the way. Now it is time for me to talk about the Easter egg, the details, the little detail of the show itself. So the first thing we want to talk about here is Iki's memory. So when we are watching Revice Forward, we actually realize that Iki has the memory of Vice. When I watch Revice Forward, I was like scratching my head, like, what is going on? How come Iki remember Vice, something like that? And we learned that in this movie, S actually uses his wish for this Desire Royale to wish for Iki to remember the memory of Vice. And I really love they choose to go with this direction rather than S wishing that, you know, like Vice will always stay with Iki. Okay, so I really love how S didn't undermine the sacrifice of Vice, didn't actually destroy the ending of Kamen Rider Revice, but they kind of like sweeten it a little bit. It's almost like a little reward for saving the world or something like that. And this is something I really love about the story of Revice, because there is real consequences to the action that you make, like the consequences of rebelling or the consequences of becoming a rider. We get to see that in Hiromi. His body become 50 years old, and we also get to see that in Kamen Rider, what was his name, Demons, I think. Like when we actually get to see the father of the Igarashi family, Genta, we get to see him like being like having an argument with his demon Val, something like that. So there's a lot of consequences in the story of Revice, and the consequences actually tends to stay behind. And we also get to see that in the Dead Man, and how the Bluebird is actually a new organization that is trying to make things better and all that stuff. So for them to stick to the consequences of Vice disappearing, that is something I really respect, rather than just overturning stuff immediately, just like what happened in Kamen Rider W. They kill off Philip, but then suddenly at the last episode they resurrected Philip once again. And it almost felt like the ending of Oz. Like after 10 years, we actually get to see a flip of the sacrifice. That is gonna be really amazing. But with that being said, let me move on to the second Easter egg. The second Easter egg is the return of Buffa. So I felt like a lot of us, when we are watching the series, is like one thing that really shocked all of us is like, how the hell did Buffa actually enter the movie Battle Royale if he is already dead in the series itself? And I felt like the movie explained it quite nicely. Like, it is because like Buffa was supposed to die, and the reason why he died is due to the DGP. But in the beginning of the movie, we get to see Korath wishing for a war without a DGP. So everyone that got killed in the DGP will be resurrected. So this is actually really interesting, because when we actually think about this, isn't this what Kewa supposed to be wishing for? Like, this is what Kewa actually wants. Like, everyone that has be affected by the DGP will be resurrected. That in doing so, he is gonna be able to resurrect his own parents as well, because his parents is also being destroyed by the Yamato, by the DGP. So this is something really interesting. But let me move on to the third Easter egg, and that is the wish of Korath. And in the movie, we actually get to see Korath only using one vision driver to activate the wish, to activate the goddess of creation wish ability. And because of this is the reason why Niram added an additional effect and additional security to the goddess of creation power. So when we actually see it in the series, when Beroba tries to use it in the series, she is not able to do so, and thankfully, like, Niram actually added an additional security to it, okay, rather than just, you just let it be same old problem. So really amazing stuff we get to see here. And the next thing, the fourth Easter egg, something that I felt kind of like annoyed for not actually getting from the get-go, and that is the Neon TV and the Yuki Happy channel. So apparently, like, these two channels are uploaded, or should I say they are streaming from the same platform itself. I should have seen this coming, because like I felt like the vlogging, the video capturing thing has been existing in Revice for since episode 1, and we kind of like ignore the channel, we ignore the YouTube channel at all. And now when we got introduced to Neon TV, like, we don't actually make the connection that, hey, they are streaming on the same platform, they might know one another, something like that. So when the movie actually happened, when we actually saw Neon saw Sakura, hey, aren't you Sakura from the Yuki Happy channel? And Neon said that, hey, aren't you, like, and Sakura said that, hey, aren't you Neon TV, what, Neon from Neon TV, something like that. So they knew one another, they have star power in a sense, okay. So, and this is really fun and really interesting for them to establish this, because this would actually allow Neon to enter into the girls remix group much more easier. We know Neon is gonna join, she already is a part of the girls remix, because if you look at the official Twitter channel or profile of girls remix, you actually get to see the logo of Nago is actually already in the girls remix itself. So this is hinting at us that we are actually gonna get a second girls remix in the future, something like that. So really amazing stuff. And the fifth thing I want to talk about is Hiromi's Edge reminder. I already talked about this just now, but I really love that they remind us that, hey, Hiromi is now 50 years old, he has a 50 years old body, and this is kind of like to build hype, or should I say build anticipation for the Revice Forward movie. But at the same time, it is also to tell us like why Hiromi didn't henshin, or maybe like for those who didn't watch the series, like, might be asking to yourself like, who is this guy, why is he not a rider, something like that. So really amazing stuff. But lastly, I just want to end the video by talking about one of the biggest thing that has yet to have any payoff, because all of the previous Easter egg, all of it we already saw a payoff, except maybe for the Neon TV, except for the girls remix stuff. But this one, the next thing we want to talk about, so far there's no news, no confirmation or how this is gonna make a lot of sense in the story, and that is Kewa's demon, or maybe his split personality. We are not sure which one. Is it a demon or is it a split personality? But one thing we know for sure is that there is gonna be a dark Kewa coming soon in the future. Whether or not this is kind of like he succumbed to the dark side and choose to achieve war peace by getting his hand dirty, or this is kind of like a Ryuga and Ryuki type situation where there's another Kewa, a dark Kewa out there trying to achieve war peace in a more twisted way, something like that. So I felt like no matter what direction they want to go for, it is gonna be a really interesting story, because by the end of the movie we actually get to see Ryuki talking to Kewa. He asks him, so what do you want to do, something like that. And I believe Kewa and Shindo actually have a little bit of time talk with one another, and they definitely get to understand one another point of view. And I felt like the both of them are very similar character, and that is something that I really love as well. So I'm not sure how Kewa's character is gonna progress in the future, but the Kewa we know right now is a Kewa that is trying to achieve war peace, but at the same time keeping his morale and keeping his code of conduct in check. He's not gonna break any rules. He's gonna save the world by being the law-abiding citizen. But what if he is Dark Kewa? When he become Dark Kewa, he's gonna achieve world peace by becoming someone who actually break the law, by someone who decide to become the evil of the story, to become the villain of the story, something like that. It's kind of like the celestial being, something like that, if you watch Gundam 00, something like that. So this is really fun movie. I really enjoy it fully, and I really love how all, like, when I'm watching this movie, there's a lot of Easter egg for us to follow, something like that. But that is all from me. Hope you enjoy the review of Kamen Rider Geats X Revice. Not gonna lie, this movie lacks. I really love this movie, and part of the reason is because of God Sumuri. Like, Sumuri is perfect, okay, perfection. But that is all. Hope you enjoy. If you made it this far into the video, I just want to thank you for watching until the very end, and I also want to leave a word for you to comment in the comment section below to let me know you actually finished the video. And the word for this video is chair, CHAIR. CHAIR. That is how you spell chair. I almost forgot. Okay, but thank you for being with me throughout this entire 16 minutes of video. Hope you enjoy, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.